Hello again, Thurston. Hello. Hello again. Hello again. Welcome back, gents. Welcome back. Had a little problem there. Let's see, so we have this here. Hello again. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. Welcome back. Just had a little difficulty there for a moment, you know, I had to get it together. So I'm just going to get right into it, guys. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the greatest watch market update show. Before I get into the show, please don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. And if you can, subscribe to the channel. It'll be a good thing for us, for the algorithm, you know? We'll get more exposure, you know, people get to see who we are, and our channel continues growing. You know, even though we know that the channel is, you know, we're gonna keep on going about this business that we're doing for you know, for you guys out there. All right, guys? I just wanna follow up on something that I spoke to you guys a few days ago, and I must address the subject again. I spoke to you guys about your Rolex guarantee cards. You know, I spoke about your Rolex guarantee cards, and in those cards you have your model number, your serial number, and also another number there, but most of all you have something that everybody overlooks and doesn't really, you know, look into this. And it's called a client number. It's called the client number. And it's something very important that you guys have to be aware of, because a lot of things are happening with that subject. You know, I talked to you guys about naked watches. Naked watches are very, very dangerous thing to buy for many reasons, you know, for many reasons. They're just dangerous to buy. A lot of things happen with naked watches. And I'm going to explain to you something that's happening right now with naked watches. When these watches don't have no guarantee card, it makes it a little bit more difficult for the dealer to sell the watch. And also the price goes down as well. But what they're doing now is they're getting guarantee cards from other watches which don't mean much. You know, other watches that basically are dogged with fleas. And what they're doing with those watches, they are erasing the name of where that watch was purchased. You understand me? Try to follow what I'm trying to say to you. They erase, let's say that the watch was purchased in Italia, you know, an example, Italy. The watch is purchased in Italy, and they erase Italy out. They erase Italy out, and they say it was sold in California, you know, in AD in California. So they erase Italy, and now they put it was purchased in California. But there's a problem. There's a problem there. When those watches are sold on the client number, it tells you it's like an area code that Rolex has. It's like an area code, a phone area code, and it has there a number, right? So when you look at that card, guarantee card, and it says that the watch was purchased out of California, you know, Los Angeles, whatever it is, it has the client number. And what you do is you can get your iPhone, your Apple iPhone, and you can say, you know, Google, whatever you use, Siri, whatever it is, and you say Rolex client number 770, and that'll come back, and they will answer you back, and it will say that that watch was purchased in, let's say, Venezuela. It will come back. So what I'm trying to tell you with this is, they're flim-flamming you into believing that that watch was purchased in California, Los Angeles, when in reality, that watch was sold. It was sold in Venezuela. So that makes that watch not kosher. It can be a watch that's stolen. It can be a watch that they just don't have a card and they want to give you a card to make you feel good. So you got to be very, very, very careful. I was talking to Kino, and Kino was telling me right now there's a big epidemic going on with that subject of giving you guarantee cards being erased, the name of the place it was purchased, but they forget. They don't forget, they know this, but they know that you guys are not going to be looking into client number until somebody like myself comes around and tells you what a client number means. And I'm repeating to you again, a client number means that it has a number there, let's say 5555, and you call it in, and it's going to tell you that watch is from Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic, and they're telling you and selling you the watch, and it's saying there that the watch was sold in Miami, Florida. You know, so you might be buying a watch that it is stolen. Okay, stolen. It might be stolen, or it might not be stolen. It's just that they want to give you a card so they can jack up the price up, and they have a full set, you know, with the card. But let me explain to you something, ladies and gentlemen. I want you guys to know this. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say a number here. I'm gonna tell you that I would say a good 60% of Rolex watches. We're talking about Rolex watches are kosher with real cards and all that good stuff, full set. And a 40%, they're naked. They don't have no paperwork, no guarantee card. So you have to be very, very careful when you're buying watches, from these online watch dealers, online dealers. You got to be very, very careful, guys. These watches are being sold with cards that they don't match up with the watch. They don't match up with the watch. So you got to be very, very careful, because they're selling a lot of these watches out there. These naked watches that don't have no guarantee cards, and they're erasing names. They're erasing the name where the watch was purchased, where it was really purchased at, and they're going to put something else. But with the client number, you're going to be able to know where that watch was sold at. Do you follow what I'm trying to say? You understand me? This is something that you guys need to know. And people, dealers are dealing with these watches that they are, they're hot. How's that? They're hot. They're hot commodity. And I don't mean hot commodity in a good way. Hot commodity in a bad way. So you got to be very, very careful when you're buying watches now. You understand what I'm saying? I'm giving you this information because thank you so much. You need to know about this. This is the new thing that's happening. And I spoke to a couple of people, and they were telling me, listen, there's a couple of watches that I purchased, not me, the person I was talking to, and he told me that he bought the watch, and it said that it was an AD in New York City, in Manhattan, and the watch is from Tokyo, from Japan, So they're doing this to be able to sell the watch, because selling today naked watches is not a very, very healthy thing to be doing, guys. All right? I don't know, last time when I spoke to you about, guarantee cards with client number, on it. I don't know if you guys really understood what I was saying, but it's something that is very, very, happening right now, and you gotta be careful with these hucksters and hoodwinks, because this is the way they wanna, listen, when a watch is hot, okay, when a watch is hot, when a watch is being looked for, when a watch is stolen, lost, whatever, and there's no paperwork, no guarantee on that watch, they buy that watch. So you understand me, if the watch costs $50,000, they're buying that watch So you know this. They're buying that watch for $20,000. For $20,000. And once they have that watch in their power, now they're going to get a Fugazi guarantee card. They're going to erase my name, Juan Felipe Nieves, purchased in New York City. They're going to erase that. You're going to be able to tell, because even when they erase it, you're going to see the little marks of being tampered with. And then they put there, you know, California, AD, and downtown, right? Whatever it is. But in reality, when you look at the client number, you can't tamper with that. And that's going to tell you, you're going to be real simple to say, you know, you're just going to say, client number 455, you know, an example. And it's going to come back as sold in Singapore. So you know right there that the watch is not kosher. Something is wrong with the watch. And this is happening now more than ever, because a lot of people, a lot of watch dealers are getting watches without guarantee cards, you know? So I have to tell you this. Nobody's gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you, ladies and gentlemen, because nobody will, but I have to, because this is what I do, you know? I tell you guys what's happening, because nobody will tell you the tricks that they're doing to you. You know, that they're doing to your family to get into your children's tuition money, into your wife's 401k, into your 401k. So, you know, heads up with that. The client number is something very important for you guys to have. You know, if you don't want to alarm the dealer, if you don't want to alarm it, you look at, does the watch have paperwork? He says, yes. Let me see the card. Is it a new car, old car? This way he can show you the card, and you look at it where it's purchased. It was purchased in Hawaii. You know, it says Hawaii dealer, and then you know you look at the back, and you're going to see the client number. You know, you look at it, you already just remember the three numbers, the four numbers. Just remember that, and you go for a little walk, and you go Rolex number 550, and at the moment, whenever you want to practice it, take one of your Rolex cards and do that. You know, say Rolex 455, and it'll come back Rolex 455 Singapore. So you know that watch is not from where they're telling you it's from. You know, from Hawaii. You know the watch is being tampered with. Okay, so I'm just telling you this, you know, to give you a follow up on that, because I don't think you guys really understood what I was telling you about that. All right, guys. Also, I wanna tell all of you guys also another thing. Watch dealers don't have much content no more, so you have watch dealers. They're making content today on, you know, race car drivers, movie stars. You know what watches they're wearing, if it's fake, if it's real. You know this, you know, wishy-washy stuff. You know, athletes, all that good stuff. This is the kind of content that we're doing, you know, because there's no more content to be shared with you guys of watches being sold and transactions, and the guy bought me a watch, I packed it up nice, I wrapped it up with a nice bag. There's no more of that, because the watch market is dead. You know, no matter what they keep on telling you, the watch market is dead. I mean, 100% is dead. You know, but they have something else that is crazy today. You know, since they already burned down the race car drivers, the athletes, football players, basketball players, movie stars, you're not gonna believe what they're doing now. This is how low the watch industry is. This is how low, what I'm gonna tell you. Be patient, I'm gonna tell you now. Give me a second and I'll tell you. They're going so low now, they're talking about pastors, Christian pastors, of religion. Like, let's say Joel Osteen, Joel, I don't know his name too well, Joel Osteen, he's one of those evangelists. He's unbelievable, he has thousands and millions of followers. So They're talking about what watches he's wearing, if it's a fugazi, if it's for real, if it's not. And the one that's doing this is your favorite, watch content creator, the Walrus Fat Pastor, The Walrus Fat Pastor today is talking about pastors, what watches they're wearing. The other one is TD Jake, TD Jake, TD Jake, he's an unbelievable man too, he's another evangelist or hallelujah, I don't know, but he's talking about what kind of watch TD Jake is rocking, unbelievable what these guys are doing to make content, to the level they're going to, talking about bringing religion into the watch industry. What kind of watches these evangelists are wearing. There's another one called Benny Hinn. Not Benny Hill, but Benny Hinn, And they're talking about what watch Benny Hinn is wearing, if he's wearing a Patek, if he's wearing an AP, if he's wearing a Richard Mille. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. These people don't know what to do. But I gotta tell you the truth, Scooby-Doo. Somebody has to do it. So I'm doing it for you guys because there's no more watch content out there. There's no more watch content out there, guys. And I gotta tell you, but to the level that there are, going to, getting the watch industry religion, what these pastors are wearing and saying it's fake, it's not for real, it's a bust down, it's this, it's that. Papi, these people don't have no more. They don't have no more watch content. You imagine talking about TD Jake, that he's looking like this is awful. It's not my cup of tea because I believe in religion and I believe in something that should be off limits. But that Walrus Fat Pastor, he needs to pay his Ferrari and he needs to pay all his bills and he'll do whatever he has to do because he is a cockroach, and we're not going to rare. He is a cockroach, so he'll do what he needs to do to get that dime, whatever it takes. But snooping that low and talking about religion, pastors, and what watches they have on their wrist, come on, that's a new all-time low. It's an all-time low, and it's unbelievable. And people, you see that these subscribers that watch this Walrus Fat Pastor are having fun and celebrating that. And I'm just telling you what's going on so you understand which way the watch industry is going, so you understand which way the watch industry is going, and it's not going in a good way. So I thought I should tell you about that. It's awful, ladies and gentlemen, when you see this Walrus Fat Pastor just making fun of all these pastors. I said these names so you understand. I don't know if he's talking about Joel Austin or he's talking about Benny Hinn or he's talking about TD Jake, but he's talking about pastors, that guy, what's his name? I think he passed away not too long ago, Jimmy Swagger, those people like that, you don't bring that into the equation, of the watch. It's something very untasteful, at least for me. I don't know about you guys, maybe you guys enjoy that kind of content, all right? But I want to just to talk to you a little bit about that. Don't forget really about your Rolex guarantee cards. You have there the Ace of Spades under, your sleeve. So whenever you want to know where that watch was really purchased, you just do it nicely. Listen, what I'm telling you, nobody is ever gonna tell you. I am like that masked magician from the late 80s that he told everybody how the illusion was done. He had a mask on. I don't. I'm showing you my face. I'm telling you how it works, how it is. This is for chapter 12, how to become a Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market dealer. You understand me? This is so you could become one. You know? And I give you all this for free. All for free. Right now, I'm in vacation, but I thought when I spoke to these people today, I thought I should, let you know about this subject, because it's getting bad out there, ladies and gentlemen. As the watch industry gets worse, more grifts, more flim-flamming, more hoodwinking will continue to happen, will continue to happen. The more the watch industry goes down, the bigger the flim-flamming will become. It's like a junkie. When a junkie has a problem with consuming what he needs, he'll do whatever it is to continue getting his fix. And this is the same thing with these people. They don't want to get off the Range Rover. They don't want to get off the red Go Fast car. They don't want to get off those Louis Vuitton, Nike sneakers, ripped jeans, Montclair sweaters, Supreme hoodies, They don't want to get off that, $17,000 steak dinners, $2,000 sushi from, tuna, big tuna they catch, They want to keep on eating that on your children's tuition money. So I'm just letting you know what's going on. Put all this to practice. Share it with your friends. Let them know what's going on, which way the watch industry is going. It is going to the bottom of the barrel, the bottom. All right? Anyway, guys, I'm going to give you a watch market update. All right? I'm going to give you a watch market update, so listen up and learn. Our first watch is a Rolex Yellow Gold Sky Dweller, 42 millimeter, an unbelievable looking time machine. Okay, Rolex Sky Dweller Yellow Gold with a champagne dial, the least desirable dial in that watch, but it's a Sky Dweller, it's a beautiful Sky Dweller. And I believe, it has one of the most complicated movements in the Rolex catalog. That's what I believe, me personally. And I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for that Rolex Sky Dweller Yellow Gold champagne dial. Don't pay more than $34,000. $34,000. All right, guys. Our next watch is an AP Royal Oak Rose Gold, the 15407 41 millimeter. This watch at one moment, the Rose Gold, was over $350,000. And I'm going to tell you today, you do whatever you want with your children's tuition money. It's your money, and you do whatever you want with it. You do whatever you want with it. You spend it the way you want. But I'm here to tell you, don't pay for that watch, for that beautiful AP Royal Oak 15407 Rose Gold 41 millimeter. Don't pay more than $166,000 and dropping. You do whatever you want. Our next watch is an AP Royal Oak stainless steel green dial 50th anniversary chronograph. Unbelievable watch, 26240. This watch at one moment was $150,000. I repeat to you again, over $150,000. And I'm going to tell you today, because I'm stupid like that, because I'm real stupid like that, it has on the rotor of the back of the watch, on the rotor, it has 50th anniversary. Don't pay for that watch, and I mean you do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more, and I mean more than $45,000 in dropping. All right, guys? Our next watch is a Rolex Yellow Gold GMT 50th anniversary collector's choice, collector's dream, collector's grade, collector's unit. The green, money green dial, GMT 50th anniversary. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch at one moment was being paraded for $75,000 to $80,000. $75,000 to $80,000. And I'm going to have to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Reference number is 116718LN. Don't pay more, and I mean don't pay more than $30,000 in dropping. You do whatever you want. Our next watch is a Rolex Daytona Oyster Flex with a meteorite dial. White gold, meteorite dial, Oyster Flex. New reference number, the 126. And I gotta tell you the truth, this watch is super expensive in that secondary gray watch market, but I'm gonna give you my price, what I believe you guys should pay. And here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Don't pay for that Rolex Daytona Oyster Flex Meteorite dial. Don't pay more, and I mean don't pay more than $97,000 in dropping. All right? You do whatever you want. Our next watch is a Vacheron Constantin Overseas Chronograph Blue Dial. The new reference number 5520, 5520V. Rose Gold Chronograph, the most beautiful blue dial in the watch business. Don't pay, and I mean don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more. This is the new reference number, the new one. Don't pay more than $67,000 in dropping. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is an AP Royal Oak stainless steel 38 millimeter. 38 millimeter, great dial, chronograph, 26715 is the reference number. And don't pay for that watch, and I mean don't pay for that watch more than $32,500 in dropping. The watch market is dead, ladies and gentlemen. The watch market is dead, completely dead. But you do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video. We are the #1 watch market update show that it is in lockdown. Lockdown. Even you guys at times lock us up, you know? Lockdown. We're on lockdown and we don't care. We don't care. We care. 9 of you are here. That's good enough for us. 9 are watching the show. 9. That's good. That's great. But don't forget to subscribe and like our video, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Our next watch is an AP Royal Oak Yellow Gold Crayon Green Dial. Crayon Green Dial, ladies and gentlemen. Chronograph. You know, they made 125 pieces around the world of this model. This is an unbelievable looking time machine, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the 26331BA. 26331BA. This watch at one moment was over $700,000. That's right. I know you don't believe me, but it was worth over $700,000. And there was a bunch of lollipop suckers, window lickers, crayon eaters, tomato cans, cow tippers, possum kickers, you know, sandbags, ready to give away the $700,000. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that beautiful AP Royal Oak Yellow Gold Crayon Green Dial. Don't pay more than $162,000 in dropping. You do whatever you want. The watch market is dead. The watch market is dead. No matter if you're one of them that thinks that the watch market is up and running, the watch market is dead. There's nothing out there no more. There's no more content. You know, you don't have no more content from Big Pun and Heavy D, the 2 toddler body brothers, you know, the Warriors Fat Bastard, Deputy Boxing Black Eyes. You don't have no more, you know. The Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo, selling Pronell watches. They're 10 cents to the dollar. That's what you should pay for that watch. It's no more. It's dead. It's dead. I mean, you do whatever you want. It's your money. You do whatever you want. Next watch is a Rolex Daytona Platinum. You know, chocolate, ceramic bezel, blue dial, diamond baguette dial, you know, with the pamper blue dial. It's unbelievable, you know. This is an older reference, 116506. Do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and don't pay for that watch more than $91,000. $91,000. There's nobody out there that's going to give you a watch market update show like me because I'm stupid like that. I like to be stupid like that and give you these watch market updates because I enjoy myself. Because I'm stupid like that. Unbelievable. Look at the view I have back there. You know, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable where I'm at. You know, I can't even tell you where I'm at. I didn't even tell Sweet Kino where I'm at. It's a secret, you know. He can't even know where I'm at. But it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about a Patek Philippe White Gold. Patek Philippe White Gold Complications. 5172 with a blue dial, blue strap chronograph. This, I'm not even going to tell you the retail price of this watch. I'm not even going to tell you what they had it there in the secondary gray watch market. I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not. This is disgusting. But I am going to tell you a price already. You should start looking at it, not buying it, looking at it. Don't pay. And we're talking about a full set. You know, used, slighted condition material, used. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, for this beautiful Patek, white gold chronograph, you know, unbelievable looking watch, you know, it's an unbelievable looking watch. You know, this is like a 2022. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, you do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay more than $51,500 and dropping. Ladies and gentlemen, la situación está jodida. Things are bad out there. Listen to me. I get to talk to watch people every day. Every day. Dealers from all over the world I get to talk to. What they're telling you that the watch market is up and running, yeah, it's running among themselves. Dealer to dealer. Dealer to dealer. You sell to me, I sell to you. You sell to me, I sell to you. And the watch prices just keep on going up among themselves. But that is an artificial, you know, artificially being done. You know, it's spoofing. It's called spoofing. If you don't know what the word spoofing is, you Google it. But they're spoofing. You know, they do that spoofing, you know, with things, you know, with commodities. When they want to make it go up, you know, they spoofing. Not spoofball, spoofing. Too much. Ladies and gentlemen, I have here for a gentleman that he is a big fan of Richard Mille watches. As I told you, Richard Mille watches are dead in water. They're dead in water. Totally dead in water. But this gentleman loves Richard Mille, and he especially likes the, you know, the Johann Blake. You know, Johann Blake. And this watch at one moment, I remember those Indian brothers, you know, from Miami. They're like around 7 Indian brothers. You know, they're from India. You know, they have cape haircuts. They wear the hats backwards, and they sell Richard Mille. They have the Gerber babies in front. You know, he's a white American young kid. You know, that works with the Indian brothers. You know, over there out of Miami. I'm telling you, they're like 7 of them. You know, tape haircuts. They even have, you know, the initials of the company in their hair. You know, they have, you know, tags. You know, you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. But this gentleman likes the Richard Mille, and he likes the RM6101 Johann Blake limited to 150 pieces. Limited to 150 pieces. You know, black, fully black, skeletonized. You know, unbelievable looking time machine. The Richard Mille watches are dead in water, you know. Richard Mille watches is like, you know, like a Jacob and Company, Hublot, Frank Mueller, and that watch they're talking about, which everybody got, you know, flim flam and the pyramid scheme, you know, the Avanti, whatever you call it, you know. Richard Mille's the same way too. He's going to the same direction. It's a pyramid watch also. And I'm going to tell you, sir, you do whatever you want with this Johann Blake. It's fully black. But don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. You do whatever. Seriously, you do whatever. A mí no me importa lo que tú hagas con tu dinero. I don't care what you do with your money. It's your money. You do whatever you want. I do whatever I want with my money. I travel the world. You know, my wife. My wife loves me. I love my wife, you know. And it's unbelievable. You know, it's out there, you know. It's, you know, unbelievable, you know. But I'm going to tell you, sir, don't pay for that Johann Blake, limited to 150 pieces, you know, limited. You know, the sketch. Don't pay for that watch. And this watch at one moment was over $575,000. Can you imagine that? $575,000 skeletonized. You can see the organs, everything, the heart, you know, the kidneys, you know, all that stuff, you know. You can see everything in this watch. And I'm going to tell you, sir, because you wanted this watch market update as well. Again, don't pay for that watch more than $190,000. Sir, remember this. Cash is king. Cash is king, and you're the king because you have the cash. There's no more cash out there. There's no more SBA loans. There's no more PPP loans. There's no more government grants. There's no more stimulus checks. There's no more unemployment checks. You know, there's no more scamming the government. The government money dried up, and they're coming for you because they want that money back. They want that money back. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoy this watch market update show and you learn something. Don't forget about what I spoke to you about, the Rolex guarantee cards with client numbers. They're flim-flamming people out there all day, every day with those client numbers. People are buying watches, they're naked, and they're charging you like the watch has everything, like it's a full set when it's not. You know, they're full of baloney. They're full of baloney. And you guys are letting yourself get taken. I'm showing you how to do it already. I'm showing you. Don't forget that. If they say that the watch was sold in New York, you look at the client number and you're going to find out where that watch came from for real. Now you know the watch is not kosher no more now. Now you know the watch dealer wasn't talking to you seriously. He was giving you this. Deep. You understand me? You know, a watch that's naked, there's a real heavy hitter, you know, it'll jump up $10,000, $20,000 with a guarantee card. Jump up $10,000, $20,000, depending what it is. But without it, it drops $30,000. You know, you don't know where this watch came from. You don't know. You don't know what's happening with this watch. So there it is, guys. I hope you learned something. And don't forget what I told you about these guys with their new content. Making content on pastors, you know, church pastors, church leaders, you know, the hungry hippo, you know, not the hungry, I take it back, not the hungry hippo. The war is fat pastor. I take it back. The war is fat pastor is making content on religious, you know, pastors, you know, from different, you know, religion, you know, it's unbelievable, you know. I think he was even making, he was talking about the lady too, I forgot her name, she's also a pastor, the lady pastor with short hair, you know, it's unbelievable, you know, making fun of them while watches they're wearing. There's no more content out there, ladies and gentlemen. There's no more watch content. You know what it is now in style? Saying the truth, what I tell you guys. You understand me? I mean, I think I covered much of what I needed to cover with you guys, all right? Right? So if you guys didn't get to see this whole live stream, you know, when it first started, just watch it again now, the rewind, you know, watch it again so you see what's going on, right? Anyway, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I urge you guys to subscribe to the channel. I urge you guys to like, you know, to like and subscribe to this channel. Listen, the only one that's doing this for free is me, you know, is this fool right here doing it for free. I'm saving one tomato can at a time. Or should I say, I'm saving one recovering tomato can at a time. All right? Anyway, guys, like me and Sweet Kino will say always to you guys, take care and brush your hair. Peace.